Welcome to Inside the Nets. I'm Chris Sheeran. The Nets rookies are ready for their first NBA season, and we caught up with a couple of their draft picks, Egor Demin and Danny Wolf, at Media Day. We also sit down with the team's newest acquisition, Michael Porter Jr., as well as veteran Day'ron Sharpe. Here's the number 8 pick, Egor Demin. Egor Demin, and I got that right?
Yeah.
That's the correct pronunciation. Correct. I got it exactly from him. So what's the experience been for you so far?
The experience is amazing. Just being around guys here, being around NBA players, being around rookies, against somebody I already played before in college or in Europe. And it's fun to, get here with Nolan, who I met on the EuroLeague tournaments, and somebody who I played in the college. So it's pretty fun.
You go from Moscow to Madrid at the age of 16, so you're used to being on the move. What's the basketball journey been like for you already, having played in Spain, then, of course, in college at BYU?
Actually, when I was 15. So
even younger.
Yeah. Again, the journey, as you said, it was super helpful, I want to say. Obviously, it's experience of a lot of different groups of people and cultures, and obviously 3 countries. I played in 3 different countries with the 3 different types of basketball. So the learning process never stopped, and it never stops now. So for me, it's really helpful to be, to have this opportunity that I have right now.
American kids aren't used to being in a professional system at the age of 15. What is it like playing for a club like Real Madrid? Obviously, Luka Doncic had played there. Real Madrid's got the big soccer club, the big basketball club. What is that like to be just a teenager playing in a system like that?
First of all, obviously, the club like Real Madrid or Barca or any of it, they hold you accountable every day. And you have your responsibilities. You have your routine that you have to get done. And, if something is wrong, you got to answer and you got to respond for it, right? And I think this is the big deal for kids, who go there and they learn how to be grown.
How do you think that experience that you had there with the accountability is going to help you with the NBA experience?
I think that's going to be a huge help for me. Just already go through responsibilities as I did, and knowing that people are going to hold me accountable, how to make sure I do everything that I need to do, and have fun.
On draft night, we've all seen the video of the Nets celebrating when they got to pick you with the 8th pick. When you see something like that, how does that make you feel?
It gives me chills. When I saw it for the first time, I actually seen it after the draft already, and I was happy. That's what I'm about to say, yeah. And it's more than I can explain, for sure, and I'm just really grateful to this organization and to this family for an opportunity for me to be here.
Yeah, you go from college now to playing in the NBA. There's a lot of men in the NBA. You're still a young guy. What do you think is the one thing that you really have to work on to really make it in the NBA?
I think the biggest thing is to learn, to be able to learn as much as I can and to observe as much as I can, right? Be a sponge around, the veterans, be around the teammates, always be around people and talk to them, right? Understand what is good for me, what is good for them, and not only our team, but the people around, going through the RTP program, the NBPA. I learned that it's a family. All NBA is a big family, right? And asking questions and advices from other players, and never a mistake, never a wrong choice.
You said you had comfortability because you come here with Nolan and you've played with him and against him. I'm wondering who from the Nets, the vets here, have you kind of leaned on when you got here?
For me, as I just said, my approach is to treat everybody as a vet, right? I want to learn from everybody, even if, like Danny. He's a couple of years older than me, but he's been in the game longer than me, so I definitely have something to learn from him. And, obviously not being quiet about, MPJ, T-Man, and all these guys who's already been in the team. It's a huge chance for me to learn and to get something new in my game.
I wonder how comfortable you feel here in an international city international team. Obviously, in Brooklyn, there's a lot of Russians. What's it been like just making the adjustment to living here in New York and in Brooklyn?
I think that's, an advantage of this place. Anybody can fit here, right? And for me, I'm not an exception. I feel good. I feel a part of the community. I feel a part of the team, a part of the city. And I think that's a great experience for me to be here. The organization is, as you said, really international, so it's a big kind of a combination and the chemistry around the team, right? And the front office, where everybody kind of, adding something personal, and that's where it builds something special out of it.
You speak 3 languages, Russian, English. Your English is outstanding, by the way, and Spanish. Would you rather have your coach yell at you in Spanish or English? Which one would you prefer? Because you can do both.
We can make that happen.
The first thing I did when I got here for the pre-draft workout is talking to Jordy in Spanish. And, both could work. I'm not making him yell at me, but I'm assuming it's going to happen at some point. So whatever feels comfortable for him, that's for sure.
And did that help your comfortability too, just having that in your back pocket as well, being multilingual?
100%. 100%. I'm a really curious person in basketball and in the life. So, I think it's an advantage of mine that I had a chance to learn another language without even wanting to do that. And now I think that's, I'm not regretting that I did. So and now I'm learning French too, so I can speak with Nolan a little more.
Now, you're wearing 8, and the late, great Kobe Bryant also wore 8. And I'm just wondering, is there ever going to be a time, because, trash talk goes on in the NBA. Now you could do it like Kobe in 3 different languages.
Right. Yeah, that's probably something I'm trying to get into, but probably not either. I'm not a big trash talker either. I prefer to enjoy the game and not to bother the karma.
Luka Doncic, having come through the same system that you did, how big of a player is he in Real Madrid? Do they talk about him all the time? Is that someone that a lot of the younger players look up to and aspire to be?
Honestly, Luka in Real Madrid is like a mysterious, figure for all the kids, in case of they talk about him like there's legends. There's legends about him. That's, it's almost, I want to say there's an icon on the wall with his picture. I think he's one of the biggest figures for Real Madrid already, even though obviously Real Madrid is one of the biggest clubs in Europe, and so many legends, European legends, went through that organization. But Luka is obviously the one who's going to be a figure for the younger kids for long, long, long years, I'm pretty sure.
Who are some of the guys growing up that you kind of looked up to in the league?
Obviously for me it was great to see Russian players in NBA, especially in Brooklyn Nets. Now knowing that I'm here in the same spot as Andrei Kirilenko or Timofey Mozgov, I think that's a big factor for me. And obviously, watching the finals, 2016 finals, right? LeBron against Curry, all that, it's iconic for sure.
What's the experience been like for you so far?
It's been awesome. I think the first few months in the NBA, it's all about learning, experiencing new things, and it's great to have other guys to go through it with, the good, the bad, and it's been awesome. Our coaching staff, it's world class. I don't think there's a better one out there, and it's been a lot of learning, which has been super enjoyable.
Take us through draft night, because you became a big story that night. Very emotional moment. When the camera was on you, did you already know you were being drafted by the Nets? When you were with Cam Spencer at the time, at what point were you made aware that you were being drafted?
No, I think there were so many clips from my family and I that night. I think it was an emotional night for sure. It was a long night, and I think at the time when the cameras started panning towards me, I don't think I had yet known that I was getting drafted by Brooklyn. Once I found out from my agents, it kind of was an exciting moment. It's hard to really put into words the emotions that you feel, your family feels, and I'm lucky to have been drafted by such a great organization, and it was an exciting night.
And specifically your brother's reaction too, that had to make you feel really, really good that he had that reaction.
Yeah, so I didn't even know about the severity of what was happening until after, when I was at a little draft party with my friends and family, and I didn't know that he had gone mega viral on social media, and even to this day, his friends still. There's
he
lots.
Became a meme.
There's
right?
There's lots of memes, and I'll be on social media, and I'll go to the comment sections of something, and it'll be like my brother's crying face. But no, it's special. I have such a great support system around me, and I have a family who loves me, and I'm lucky, especially just to have such great siblings around me.
Since I've been in the NBA, it's been the earliest time in the summer where guys are back here all playing together. So I think we're getting a good feel for each other, and it's been going well.
What does it mean to be here in Brooklyn when they're going to be looking at you to be one of the leaders, to be one of those veteran guys?
Yeah, I think this is a role that, before I got to the NBA, I was very comfortable doing all the way coming up. So it'll be good to be around these guys and a lot of younger guys. And it's just going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge for me to develop those leadership skills, but I think I'm capable, and it's going to be, we got a lot of talent, a lot of young guys, a lot of rookies that are very talented. So I'm going to embrace the role, embrace the challenge, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do. Recently,
you said you have more in the tank. You want to continue to expand your game. What could Nets fans expect from Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely going to see me in a different role, getting to create a little more, getting to, play make a little bit more. And, in Denver, to be a really good team, to be a championship caliber team, there takes a lot of sacrifice. Top to bottom, from Aaron Gordon to me to Christian Braun to the guys off the bench, And I'm just looking forward to being able to explore my game a little bit. Jordy's already told me some of the things, some of the positions he wants to see me in, and they're going to work with me, and it's going to be fun to explore that.
Did you think early on in your career, you dealt with so many injuries, especially a back injury, it's a terrible injury to have. Were you ever worried that it would be something that would curtail your career? Because really, you've taken off ever since you've come back from all those issues you've had.
Yeah, it definitely was scary. It definitely was a concern. There were definitely serious injuries, serious surgeries. But God is good. I actually met a woman named Nicole Sachs who really helped me come back from some of that stuff and helped me realize, as much as you pay attention to the physical side of healing, you got to pay attention to your mental and your emotional state and how that can affect your body. So once I was able to incorporate that and be well-rounded in my recovery approach, I was able to, come back from those things and be in a good place.
Having all that be in lockstep with you right now, coming over here, having Jordy as an assistant with the Nuggets, how much of a soft landing is it for you to come here with him here?
Definitely a soft landing. Jordy was with me my first few years in Denver. We had a good relationship. We got to know each other, and so he knows me as a person on and off the court, and I think that means a lot for me going to a place where, I just feel comfortable around him and kind of, he knows me, and I'm excited to give this program my all, play for him and play as hard as I can.
What was he like as an assistant coach? Because here, he's no nonsense. He demands a lot out of the players. You're going to earn your playing time, especially for the young guys. What was he like as a young assistant coach?
It's a lot different. Any coach who goes from an assistant to a head, they get to now kind of create their own culture and their own. And so Jordy is an assistant. He was doing what an assistant should do and buying into the culture there. But here it's a completely different Jordy. There's similarities, but to see him in this role, he was meant to be a head coach, and it shows every day.
Bringing your championship pedigree here to Brooklyn with Jordy, you're coupled with him now and the accountability that he expects from this team. How much of a leadership role are you going to take by yourself?
Yeah, just having, that championship pedigree, like you said, being in the playoffs every single year since I've been in the NBA and knowing what it takes to win and being in those environments where, those hostile environments, I think it's just something that I can kind of prepare these guys for as we build here. That's kind of a goal of mine is, these guys, a lot of them haven't been to the playoffs. A lot of them are new to the NBA, and I've seen all there is to see in the NBA. So it's definitely a place where I can help make a big difference.
A few months ago, you guys with Denver, you're playing a Game 7 in OKC. Aaron Gordon's not 100%. Do you spend any time over the summer thinking, what, if we were healthy, we could have taken them out?
Yeah, at that point, I probably was 20%. My shoulder was I was barely able to lift my shoulder, and Aaron Gordon had something going on with his calf or hamstring. So we were debilitated. I think the year before that we lost to Game 7 against Minnesota, and then last year it was OKC Game 7. So realistically we were right there on the cusp of being able to be a championship team those 3 years. So I think about that, but as you guys know, it's very hard to win a championship in the NBA. Only one team gets to do it, and these are the best players, best athletes in the world. So I think everything happens for a reason. I'm a man of faith, and I landed here in Brooklyn after, with tough playoffs for me with the injuries. So I think it happened for a reason. I think I'm in a place where I get to thrive and be happy, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's the thing, Michael. I think, too, like leadership comes in different forms. And you playing when you're far less than 100% and you're not at your best, but you're willing to fight for your teammates. What is that like going through something like that? Because you don't want to make excuses. You're out there playing, but you weren't close to being your best.
I mean, when I had that injury, they told me it's a 3 or 4 month injury. Like, you're probably done for the playoffs. At that point, I didn't feel like our team was deep enough to compete for a championship if I wasn't at least out there as a decoy. But I was putting myself in harm's way from, the media, the fans who are seeing me struggle and seeing me not being able to perform. Eventually, I kind of got traded for it. So it was a risk, but it was a risk that I was willing to take, and it's something I would do all over again. I feel like as an NBA player, we get paid a lot of money to sacrifice our bodies. And even if you're not 100%, it's the playoffs. So I kind of felt like, what am I saving myself for, even if I'm going to get scrutiny from people? Like, go out there, risk it, and, that's that. If it would happen again next year and I'm in the playoffs and I'm not 100%, I'm going out there regardless,
And Michael, you played next to Mr. MVP, Nikola Jokic, and you just have to kind of verbalize how good he is. I know last year you said he could have won the MVP 5 straight times, but that voter fatigue out there. Just how good is that guy?
Yeah, I recently said on some platform that I think he's in the conversation as being one of the best ever. I think as his career goes on, he'll be in that conversation just from a numbers standpoint, the way he can score the ball, rebound the ball, assist the ball. Like, I don't know many players in the history of the NBA that can dominate the game on all facets of the, in all facets of the game. So I recently said, I think he's in that conversation. He'll continue to push those boundaries because, he could have won MVP most years that I was in Denver. He could have won MVP. Last year he was in the conversation. The year Joel Embiid won it, he was in the conversation. So he's really an amazing player, and his demeanor is something I learned a lot from, his work ethic. And, I'm a huge Nikola Jokic fan.
What has it been like since signing the contract, knowing you're back here with Brooklyn and getting after it once again?
I just signed the contract like 3 weeks ago, but it was a great feeling. They'll lock it in. Love Brooklyn. They drafted me. Always going to be home for me no matter where I go. This is where I started my journey at. So it's always feel good to continue to compete for them.
Yeah, when they drafted you, you came in, you looked real young. Your body wasn't anything like it is now. Now, some of that's natural, but how much of that was them telling you and you telling yourself, you know what, to make it in this league physically, I got to get stronger, I have to get more fit?
Well, it started year one. Kyle Cover used to come a lot and help us out. He was telling me year one, my first couple years in the league, just lock in the weight room. So my first couple years, I was doing extra lifts, maximizing my lifting, lifting every day. I'll think about lifting during the summertime, maximizing my lifting. So, I just feel like lifting's a big part of it for me, definitely the position I play and what I do.
You did a lot of traveling over the summer. We were just talking about it, Dubai and Japan. You said you trained in Japan. What specifically did you work on while you were out there?
I was just mainly working on shooting. I was working out with one of Jordy mentors. He coached out there, so I was working out for him for like 3 days. It was just mainly shooting, and he helped me out with my jumper, teaching me some new things like that.
How much does it give you kind of a different perspective on life to spend time overseas like that in different countries?
My very first time going to the country was my 3rd year. I went to Brazil, and that gave me a whole different perspective on life in general. I appreciated where I came from, and I had people complain all the time, but when I was out there, I met some people that was like less unfortunate. So, I'm telling them like, bro, y'all don't got it worse compared to some other people. But Japan, it was very peaceful. You know, even though it's a lot of people walking around, stuff like that, it was still very peaceful, clean, tidy. They took their shoes off every time. Like even the people at the hotel when they brought the bags up, they took their shoes off before they come in the hotel room. Yeah, so like everywhere was just seemed like everybody just was like follow the rules, not give nobody problems.
And you were telling Chris and I about getting your picture taken.
Yeah.
Well, somebody stopped you. Then tell everyone what happened after they posted that photo.
Yeah, so somebody stopped me for a picture, and then I posted the photo, and then people from Japan was DMing me like, "I didn't know you was out here. Like, come back so we could take a picture." Just at the third, I'm like, "I'm back in America. I can't fly 17 hours back."
Now, when you got back here, did you continue on taking your shoes off, or
I kind of brought it back. Brought it back. Yeah, so
okay.
I ain't gonna lie. When I was out there, just naturally, I was just doing what everybody else was doing. I was scared to go against it. I was scared to go against the cold.